Looks like it's working. Hold on 1 second. All right, I'm gonna share this link with the community on my Patreon. Looks like it's working. Hold on 1 second. Share this link with the community on my Patreon. Should be good now, I believe. All right. All right, everybody, here we go. Welcome back. Special guest today for episode 57 of the Various Numerous podcast. I'm talking today with the Credefi CEO and co-founder Ivo Grigorov. How are you doing today, sir?
Hey, pleasure to be here. All good. Busy as usual, actually. We have been quite busy over the past couple of weeks since we are releasing several new aspects to the project. And it's been an eventful couple of months, let's say.
Well, you guys are on fire right now. The project has really taken off over the last 90 days. You guys are up quite a bit. I might share that here in a little bit. Full disclosure here before we start, I made a small investment in this project, so I like to get that out of the way here in the beginning. But let's get into a little bit about you. I always like to ask about a little bit about the backstory of the person I'm talking to. So can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started in tech?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so technically speaking, I did my master's in London in banking and finance. So straight after I graduated my master's degree, I entered into the banking sphere. I started at the Bulgarian National Bank, which is the central bank here in the region. And there I was responsible for, financial markets and interbank transactions, repo deals. We were actually calculating, I don't know if you've heard of like the indexes such as Euribor. We had such kind of an index here between the banks as well. So that's the interbank interest rates which they're charging. Then later on, I moved to ECB in the same department. So I was in the European Central Bank for around 6 months. Then I moved to the private sector banks, so to Eurobank, which is part of the Euro EFG group. So they're one of the biggest, banking holding groups within Europe. And there I actually specialized in risk assessment, so credit risk methodology and credit risk evaluation. Was there for about 4 years. Was part of the department which was actually calculating, and the team which was actually responsible for compliance with IFRS 9, so the international financial standard. And we were reporting directly to the ECB. And we were in charge of the whole portfolio. So the portfolio was over 6 billion in assets. The credit portfolio part. It was really interesting there. I learned a lot. So, like the regressional models, which we were developing there, and the scorecards. Actually, that's where I met the people from Experian. So we're very proud to say that we're partnering with them. They're a huge company, and they're very interested in what we're trying to achieve. So this was how it all started, let's say. Then I moved to the fund of funds, which had around 800 million in assets. There I was in charge of financial instruments design, such as guarantee schemes. I was head of the department for financial instruments debt. And there I met the other co-founder of Credefi, Valentin. So technically speaking, the whole idea was born while we were working still at the fund of funds. We saw the deficiencies from the traditional financial sphere, and we decided that it's time for a project or a company which actually deals with them.
I appreciate that backstory. So when did you find crypto exactly? Was that, you kind of noted it there, but was it Bitcoin first or was it Ethereum?
Oh yeah, in the beginning, as a traditional finance guy, I actually thought it's like one big grand scheme, and I wasn't. I mean, I was looking into it as you know, just out of curiosity. Then back in 2015, 16, when you know things started to move a bit more, I read some interesting articles regarding the technology itself. You know, like especially regarding you know the low transaction costs, you know, how you can actually move funds for very in a very quick and efficient manner. And that's how I got into it. I mean, of course, as I said, like that was back when I was still in Eurobank, and I was a bit skeptical, but I started day trading a bit. I started, you know, like accumulating some assets in crypto, and yeah, I was monitoring the sector ever until basically we decided to do Credefi. Yeah, back in 2018 we got wrecked, but yeah, that's I guess it's part of life. But yeah, I really think right now, if you ask me, I really think that this is the future. Um, I'm 100% sure that you know all of the whole economy will shift towards it. I mean, every possible aspect. It's just technological development and advanced. It's the same as with the internet, and I do think that there is no stopping it right now. I mean, everybody is built. I have spoken to so many different projects, you know, for collaborations and whatnot, and it's amazing what people are building. I mean, the possibilities out there are immense.
Yeah, they really are endless, and I appreciate what you guys are doing. You're a forward-thinking company, and so I'm curious, like you and the co-founder, you guys get it. You guys start talking about crypto and the potential. Like, what was it like to conceptualize Credi? Was it a quick thing, or was it like slow?
Oh no! It was like I don't know. It was like 6 months full of you know like 24-hour work. We were basically sleeping at the office. Like I think we had like 42 versions of the white paper. We had around 60 versions of our pitch deck. It was, yeah, it was really intense, but it was fruitful because you know you're building something which you believe is you know the right way. Then you revise it. Then you build like you start again, and you see like drawbacks or shortcomings, but at the end of the day, we basically pushed it towards, let's say, what we think would be close to perfection in terms of what we want the product to do exactly. So we have never been one of those projects which are like, okay, you know, now we're doing, for example, DeFi because it's trendy. Then tomorrow we're doing GameFi. This is not our thing, and we have been saying it for you know the past 2 years. Like we're solely focused, and we are focusing on you know like this bridge between traditional finance and decentralized finance. This is where where our expertise is. You know, this is where we feel comfortable, and we truly believe in the idea. And actually, the best part is that people are starting to realize it. I mean, we have been speaking about you know interacting with the real world economy, basically real world assets, and you know backing the portfolios with them, and actually basically bringing both like financial inclusion towards you know like people which are outside of crypto, but also bringing these people into the blockchain system as well. So it's a win-win situation, and I think that people are starting to finally realize it. Also, like from the traditional sector as well. I mean, more and more people. We have spoken to so many different you know stakeholders, financial institutions. A lot of them are really interested in what's to come, and they're basically all waiting for the next thing.
That's why I got into crypto in the beginning. I'm still interested, you know, obviously emerging markets and stuff. There's so much untapped potential still, and we're finally seeing it in Bitcoin and DeFi where, you know, people that that need it the most are getting on board now. So I love to see that, and I think this is just another example of a company trying to reach and tap into that market as well. With that, nothing I say is ever financial advice, but can you give us a broad overview of Credefi and talk about your launch, when you guys launched, and the ICO, when all that happened?
Yeah, it happened basically. Okay, so we launched on KuCoin. That's like from day one. So that was on December 9th, 2021. Then, of course, 2022 was a horrible year. I think everybody can agree on that. And yeah, the private sale was conducted before that, like up until November 2021. We had quite a few amazing VCs which backed us up. Of course, this was again the result of loads of persistence and work. I had more than probably 200 different calls and meetings with different VCs, and what we saw is that the higher, the more financial people are involved into the VC, the easier it is to understand what we're trying to do, and yeah, they really supported us. Then, as I said, we started on KuCoin. We went through this. I don't know if it's finished now, but let's say we went through the worst last year. We managed to invest all the tokens from the private sale. So we have done all of our disbursements, which has put a lot of heavy load behind our backs. So a lot of projects actually delayed the distribution. We chose a different path. We chose to basically distribute everything so that we're in the clear. And yeah, I think that right now we're seeing the benefits of it.
I have some more questions about tokenomics here in a minute, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, sure.
You guys connect DeFi lenders with SME and SME borrowers. Can you just tell us what that means to the layman? Right now, you guys have a little bit over $3.2 million in total liquidity provided.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, as I said, when the idea was born, we saw that there are deficiencies in both sectors. So traditional finance is a lot of it's very mundane. It's not that time efficient. That's why we're seeing this alternative financing sector booming in the past couple of years, like crowdfunding and peer-to-peer segment. And the thing is, SMEs are the most underfinanced segment within the banking industry as a whole. In Europe, it's above 100 billion, the gap, which is right now as we speak. So the market is there. In the meantime, you have in DeFi, you see these crazy yields, and people are promising I don't know, insane returns, but at the end of the day, they're very susceptible to the volatility of the crypto market. So overall, as I have been saying before numerous times, we're not a separate economic universe. It's not something which, let's say, when the economy goes down, or whatever happens to the normal, people who are not in crypto, wouldn't affect us. It does. We have seen it already quite a few times. So, I mean, just keeping it to the same sector. So keeping it only within crypto, you're transferring funds from one pocket to the other, but the funds stay the same, right? I mean, there is no actually GDP increase or boosting into the system that much. And in order to have this huge institutional adoption and overall mass adoption of the technology and the projects, we need to attract more people into the sphere, right? For me personally, the best way to do it is by actually involving people which are not within the crypto. So businesses which are not in crypto also get involved within the sphere. So that's what we decided to do, basically give the opportunity for crypto lenders to earn sustainable APYs, to earn in a secure manner, to be sure that, for example, like there is something behind this loan, there is something which is, a business running, it's tangible, you have a collateral such as pledge on the land or on a building or a mortgage, etc. Right? And that's why we're proud to say it's fixed, because it is fixed. It's like when you sign up for a loan towards an SME, let's say, which is in a short liquidity and needs to, like, this bridge financing, which is basically our bread and butter here at Credefi. You do have a repayment plan, you have a collateral, and at the end of the day, like, the interest rate is based on the risk level which the borrower has. And if we say that it's 10%, then like the risk rate is 10%. And if you have entered into this loan, you are gonna receive 10% on your money. It's not gonna decrease once, like, let's say Bitcoin hits I don't know, like 15,000 or 16,000. It doesn't. So
one of the some people watching this might not know a lot about SMEs in Europe in particular, but I was reading a little bit about them, and I don't know if this stats, you can read anything about stats, but it said something like 99% of the European economy is made up of SMEs. So that's a pretty big untapped market if you consider that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like small businesses, well, this is small and medium businesses, right? So these are not like these conglomerates, but like 99% of the economy, it does consist of SMEs. Like you basically, you do need them. Like this is how many companies which we know are making above 100 million, let's say, in turnover, or it's only a few of them, right? And I mean, most of them are, let's say, quite often they're in need of, like, financial, let's say, help in terms of a loan. That doesn't mean that they're bad businesses. It just means that, for example, if they want to expand, they do need some financing, or they need like a bridge financing, which basically lets them pay the salaries or increase the staff until like the next payable, let's say, invoice comes in, right? Mm-hmm. So this is a huge market. It's a huge opportunity, and I think that it's not only within Europe. I think that SMEs overall are like leading the economy worldwide. But Europe, it's, let's say, a bit more developed in terms of regulations, in terms of just let's say court pursuings in case if needs be, and that's why we chose Europe. We're very comfortable with also from just macroeconomic aspect. We're very comfortable with with the region, and we think that it's the right way to start. Of course, Credefi doesn't aim to be active only within Europe. I mean, hopefully in the next couple of years, we're going to be branching out towards other regions as well. But I think it's a great start, let's say.
I appreciate that explanation. Can you tell us, is there a minimum for a lender or a borrower?
Yeah, the minimum for a lender is $100. It's just, from transactional aspects, I think it makes sense. So that's why we could put it there. In terms of for borrowers, it's from 5,000 onwards.
Okay. And what would you say, like, what is the major, I mean, we've already touched on it a little bit. What would you say, like, the overall major disruption is that you guys bring to, like, the traditional CeFi landscape?
Well, there's numerous ones. I mean, we're not, as I said, like the typical mundane financial institution, which takes a lot of time to make the decision. We're very flexible in terms of time effectiveness. Also, let's say the one of the most unique aspects is that we're fairly new, but we're very experienced. I mean, as a team, we have more than 40 years within the sphere cumulatively. And yeah, also with our partnership with Experian is something which is, I wouldn't say groundbreaking, but it's definitely something new. I mean, we do have, I don't see them as direct competitors, but we do have, like some projects which are trying to do something similar, but they're not really like in finance as a whole. If you're in debt financing, right, the risk assessment is the most important thing, at least from my perspective, because to be able to predict or to give a good probability whether somebody is gonna, default or repay their loan, this is the core. So if you can do that, you can estimate, the risk premium which you're gonna be charging. You can estimate your liquidity provisions. You can estimate your guarantees. So I think that this is what differentiates us a lot from everybody else. Yeah, the other thing is real world assets in terms of collaterals, debt instruments, which we haven't released yet, but we're about to release, and we have designed. They're very, very interesting. A lot of large companies and banks are using them, but they're not, let's say, easily available to the masses. What we want to do is actually, basically give people the freedom to use them, and to use them in a very, very efficient way, let's say, and not costly. Like we will not charge, brokerage fees and stuff like that.
Right. So far, what type of companies, like, is there, I don't know how much you can talk about that, but like, what type of companies so far have you been talking to? Are you guys getting a lot of people reaching out to you about this, or?
From which perspective? I mean, from partnerships or?
But yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, we should touch on that too. Partnerships, but like overall, like just these SME type entities. Are you guys field phone calls from them, or is it more or how does that work?
Actually, we have. We have 3 million in TVO as of now, but we have applications and requests from SMEs for more than 20 million. We just don't have the liquidity, but and they keep on coming. I mean, people are trying to find the easier way to finance their activities, and we think we can provide it. And I think that it's visible that we're doing it, right? So, what type of companies? Any company. We don't have segregation in terms of what industry you're in. The only thing which is definitive with us is like basically the risk levels which your business and the financing scheme actually has. So as long as we estimate the risk and we think that like the risk premium is the right, and we ask for the right collateral, let's say, for us it's fine. If you can provide the collateral, you agree on the risk premium, you would be financed.
Okay. You mentioned partnerships. Let's just talk about that. Would you like to talk about any of the recent partnerships, or?
Well, we have a lot of companies which are and also projects which are approaching us for partnerships. And to be honest, I mean, some of them are very very unique, very smart people are behind them, and they're really, really let's say innovative. The thing is, I mean, I know innovation is, everybody's speaking about innovation, right? But for me, what is important, and for the other co-founder as well, and as a whole team, is that it can sound very innovative as long as it doesn't, like, it needs to work, right? I mean, even if it sounds like the most fancy, the AI, next level, I don't know, universal project. I mean, we are in the business, like, if you're in finance, you're in the business of like with money and making money for the people which are actually invested with you, and it needs to work, right? This is the most important thing. So we do have some established companies which we're very happy that we're speaking to, and projects. They're very established, and Yeah, hopefully, if we can, bring the discussions to an end, I think that people will be very surprised of what we have come up with. They're both from the blockchain world, but also from the traditional finance as well. And I cannot say much more. I mean, the discussions are ongoing, but we do like to partner with established companies and projects as well, because we know that their products work. And I think that people would be surprised if everything goes according to plan.
Excellent. I like to hear that. You see a lot of companies a lot of startups in DeFi and crypto that are doing partnerships just for the sake of partnerships. So I respect the choice there, not just to partner with companies, just to partner with them. You guys, how many team members do you have currently? I know you're expanding a little bit right now. Can you talk about that? Like how many full-time, or is it part-time people as well? How that works?
Well, technically speaking, full-time, we're around 10 people at the moment as a team. We are hiring another 3 people. I mean, we're not hiring them at once. We're just, starting to do it, but we have the plan to increase with another 3. We do have, of course, some of the tasks are outsourced to companies and freelancers, but as a whole, we're 10 people at the moment.
You guys pretty much launched, I think, exactly at the top of the last bull market. I don't remember the exact date. It was like this. It was November or December of 2021, right? So you guys were not a casualty of the bear market, so that was good. But I was wondering, like, what was to preserve capital? What was that like, and was that the largest challenge you guys have faced as a startup over the last few years?
Again, here I must say that our background and the fact that we're so upset disciplined within, like we came from the corporate sphere, so even from the start, like even when we launched and we raised the first after the private sale, so once we raised the amounts, like we never really overexpanded. We always look at our cash flows. Like cash flows is one of the most important aspects for us, and we're very cautious in terms of marketing. We have had like so many times, like people were asking us, okay, boost marketing and everything else, and I was like, yeah, this is money thrown away, especially in these conditions. Like you can sink millions into marketing and still not be able to achieve like this organic or true growth of the company. And preserving cash was very important for us, but also in the meantime, like keeping the development, so the core. So we never cut in terms of development. We continuously developed, and we were focused on releasing the product as soon as possible. I mean, it's not the full product line or the full features of the platform, but at least like the first aspect of it, which we know is working, and we know it's something which will prove our thesis. So this was our main focus. We managed to do it. I think that this had a big impact of why we survived as well. So cash preserves, but it depends in which areas. For example, we never preserved cash for development, and I think that was the best decision we could done. Like we didn't want to be like pump and dump, or just spend everything on marketing, let's say.
Right, a lot. You see that a lot in crypto. What can you share some other challenges that you've learned so far that you like didn't foresee? Maybe something particular to crypto that you didn't encounter in your your historical financial background?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like I don't know, even from vocabulary, from the way people interact with each other. Like from the start, we weren't in our comfort zone, right? I mean, it was something new. We basically had to adapt our ways of thinking, ways of I mean, still keep the core, but like basically be more flexible, think a bit more outside of the box. The other thing is, yeah, probably like, especially when designing the new products and services, like we did notice that, for example, certain aspects, for example, banking as a service is a huge problem for like a lot of crypto users. We saw that firsthand, and for example, we have put effort into that to make it easier for people on our platform to be able to also use banking services. Compliance and regulatory aspect, that was a nightmare. I mean, uh, we recently acquired a virtual currency service provider license in Lithuania. So like the whole setup of our company operations in Lithuania, like AML policies, KYC, and explaining to people that this isn't the worst thing was also a challenge. Because to be honest, like truly, like when you think about it, regulations to a certain extent bring comfort for the usual users, let's say,
Mhm.
and well, the people from the general public, let's put it that way. And I think that if they're I mean, if they're clear, if they're like, if they are not like chaotic, I don't think that they're gonna be the worst thing. Like, okay, you can provide KYC. A lot of people, for example, don't feel really comfortable in doing it, but at the end of the day, why not? I mean, if this is something which will generate money for you,
Mhm.
it's all about opportunity cost, right?
Right.
So yeah, the regulations was a big, basically compliance and regulations was a big hassle for us, but slowly and steadily we managed to, to put it on tracks as well.
That's awesome. Let's shift gears a little bit into tokenomics. Can you tell us a little bit out? That was one of the first things that attracted me to your project was I thought you guys did a really good job from what I can tell with the tokenomics. So can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, the tokenomics basically, yeah, again, this is version like, I don't know, 120th of the tokenomics. But yeah, we were very careful to not be considered a security, again, due to regulations. So one of the reasons we have like this two token system is also to be not considered a security. But also the whole idea is that we want it to be deflationary. We want both tokens to have like this value add, but through product usage, right? So the more the platform is growing, the more people are entering into the space, and the more TVL we are generating. Basically, we value add towards the tokens through a deflationary mechanism which we have put in place. And also in the meantime, we do want to like, I mean, we do want to Credi, our governance token, to be also the voice of the people who are the most invested into the project. So like the governance aspect is really important for us as well, because we do want to know our investors and our supporters what they think. What like we do want to hear them out and be able to give them certain decisions to make as well. Of course, this is going to be in the future. Right now, it's not this way, but in the future, we want to become more decentralized than we are at the moment, right? So at the moment, I think it's necessary to be a bit more centralized in terms of decision making, just for effectiveness of time, for preservance of cash and everything else. But in the future, once we grow, we do want to be as decentralized as possible and actually be like this big institution, which is the way to lend and borrow in a very easy manner.
Right now, you guys, is it hard capped at 1 billion? Am I correct about that? 1 billion tokens?
Yeah, it is. I mean, part of the ecosystem tokens, which are around the place, are going to be returned as rewards for ex credit holders as well, and different aspects. But this is the whole idea, and yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Actually, at the moment, it's 950 because we burned some of the tokens from the team throughout the year, because we wanted to show support that the overall markets was going down, and we wanted to show that we're here for the long run. So yeah.
All right, I have 5% more than I thought I had, so that's good. Credi, then you guys are the ticker is CREDI. You guys are trading on 2 exchanges right now, I believe. One is a SEX. You guys are trading on KuCoin, and the other is ApeSwap on BSC. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, we do have a pair on PancakeSwap as well, but I think the liquidity there was depleted a couple of months ago, and yeah.
Let's talk about. Can you give us any sort of like news or whatever about potential markets, potential exchanges you guys are working on, or how's that coming along? How's that progressing?
The thing is, from the start we listed on KuCoin, and it's very hard to beat KuCoin. So we're always open and looking forward, and looking for the best way to grow the community, to grow our presence in the space overall. So we are having some talks with different exchanges for a listing. We have had numerous offers which we declined just because we didn't think that the value add is there. If we see somewhere which there is value add, we're definitely gonna put efforts and investments into, like, just even from physical, like from human resource perspective, we always prioritize, and if we see a value add, we'll definitely do it. As of now, there is one potential exchange which we're talking to, and we do see value add towards them, but yeah, I'm not gonna say more in that regards. In terms of future development, what I can say, basically this week we're releasing the version of our new website. I must say there's a difference between our platform and the website, right? So first we're releasing the website, then hopefully by the end of Q2 we're gonna be releasing the version 2 of our platform, which by the way, the UI UX is insane. I love it. I know it's our project and it should be that way, but I'm just saying that it's I try to be as conservative as possible, but I think it looks really great, and we're very happy that we will be able to release it. I think people will like it as well. As I said, we do have some active ongoing talks with different partners, which are, let's say, more established companies and institutions. We hope that this goes the right way, and we hope that we can manage to bring them in. If we do that, I think that people will be pleased as well. In terms of what else, like maybe what else was part of your question? Sorry.
I think you pretty much nailed it. I was going to ask you, like, looking forward about. You actually jumped one of them into the 2.0 launch, but I was going to ask you about, like, looking forward to the rest of this year. What's on the roadmap for you guys? I only have like 4 or 5 more questions for you.
The roadmap. As I said, so V2 of the platform is it's huge for us. We're very, very optimistic about it. The thing is, it's not going to be just UI UX redesign. It's also going to introduce like new products and features and services which we're going to be offering. And I think that these new products are going to be basically really sought after. One of them, which is quite big for us, is because we have been speaking about it for quite some time, but I think people are going to get even more interested in the future in such kind of product. It's this corporate bonds which we're gonna be designing and offering, and I think that's that's a really interesting product. I'm really excited about it, to be honest. Like coming from the financial sphere, like this is my um, it would be a dream come true if it's a successful product. I think it's really good. What else? Yeah, as I said, the partnerships, and yeah, let's hope Bitcoin hits like new all-time high.
I tend to believe that we have seen the worst of the bear market, and we'll probably see another cycle, which is, probably 4 or 5 months in already. People don't realize that yet, but that's what I anticipate, and or what I believe is going on right now. Probably see another top in the cycle, maybe in 2025. So what do you think? What do you think the next couple years for you guys looks like overall? Do you think that I'm sure you do believe this because you're building this product and these services, but do you think the world is ready for this now? What you guys are offering?
I don't think it's like the whole world is ready, but I think that certain individuals and people which are interested, let's say, both in technology and in business, like as a whole, are interested. I think that more and more people are coming into the sector. More and more people are actually looking and seeing the value add of it. So yeah, all this is something which. Hello?
I'm here.
Yeah, sorry for that. And I think that in the next years, we're gonna be seeing a lot of shifts into the market, and I mean, even big established companies will enter the space. I'm sure of it. It just takes some time. I do see more regulation coming our way as well. But as I said, I'm not, let's say, uncomfortable with it. I think that this will help mass adoption. It's like I think that the more there is clear guidelines of how you can conduct business, the easier it's gonna get.
Yeah, I tend to agree. It seems like a formality that the institutions that already aren't here will be here eventually. And with every bull cycle, it seems like more and more get interested. Just a couple more here for you. What kind of future do you envision for like the blockchain sector as it merges and we see like traditional finance become somehow intertwined with DeFi? Do you see a world where like all these real world assets and do you see real estate and stocks and everything eventually like a future where all that stuff is tokenized?
I tend to believe yes. I mean, it's just, let's say, New York Stock Exchange, like, the way stocks are traded, and, Robinhood is a good example. Like, there's these platforms which are revolutionizing the overall sphere. I do think that this is going to happen with the blockchain technology as well. I mean, it will take some time, but I think that at the end of the day, when you look at the benefits of the technology, like, so the transparency, the ledger, the ledger, the history, the data which can be collected, I do think that it's definitely going to be represented on the chain as well.
I agree with you. All right, last one. I appreciate your time. I want to be considerate of it. I know you're a busy guy. What I always ask everybody at the end of my podcast what Bitcoin means to them, and it's a double question for you since you have your own project. So, what does Bitcoin mean to you? What does Credefi or Credi mean to you?
Okay, Bitcoin. I think that the best aspect of it is the store of value. Let's say. I think it has proven the world something. Basically, it has paved the way for the rest of us. So I'm very happy that it came along. I do think that the functionalities and the overall value which it can bring are limited. So let's say if you use it as a store of value, like for example, gold, it's fine. But Yeah, it's definitely not a generating, let's say, asset. Credi, on the other side, is a generating asset. It will be a generating asset. It's not only capital gains. As I said, like the platform and the tokenomics are structured in a way which would allow you to, have cash flows from it as well, and basically participate into the company. So coming from finance, once again, I must say, and it's not about our project and Credi as a whole, but in general, I prefer assets which are cash flow generating. I prefer assets which are, which are not, let's say, only for capital gains and for speculation, but rather for, long-term investment, which will generate which will generate profits back, let's say, in the future. So I think that's the main difference between the two. Of course, yeah, that's my opinion.
I appreciate that. Ivo, it was great to talk to you today, sir. It was a pleasure. I really appreciate it.
Same here. Thanks for the invite. Yeah, we're always happy to, talk to our supporters and, people who are invested into the project. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Are there any links you'd like to drop or anything like that?
Sorry?
Are there any links? I mean, any links or anything you'd like to drop before we get off?
Yeah, probably. We do have all the social media channels, so our website is credefi.finance. Our socials are listed there as well. Our Telegram group is actually very active recently, and I think people who join might even learn more stuff regarding the project, but also as a whole regarding the whole sphere. So if anybody who is listening is interested, yeah, you're more than welcome. I'm sure our admins will be happy to answer all your questions.
Yeah, they're doing a great job in there. I'll also add the you guys' links in the description of this as well, so anybody who watches later can check it out. Hang on one second, I'll say a proper goodbye.
Sorry?
Hang on one second and I'll say a proper goodbye to you. I'm going to end the recording. Hey, I appreciate